Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in. All right, guys, g'day. Welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We're excited to have you here with us today. Today we've got a really interesting episode all about exercise. So something that's close to our hearts. Philly, do you want to introduce the topic for today?
Yeah, so this is really a follow-on from last week's episode where I interviewed Dr. Mary Barson all about weight loss and metabolic health. We did not touch on exercise at all, and I wanted to really dig into that topic because something that we hear a lot when people reach out to us, so stubborn weight loss is a sign of body burnout, and we do hear a lot of people say, I've been trying all the things, I've been doing like 75 and hard or CrossFit or training for a marathon or HIIT exercises, workouts, I even restricted my calorie intake. Why can't I lose weight? And for some people, they're actually putting on weight. So really frustrating. We really wanted to dig into what's going on below the surface, especially for someone who is feeling burnt out. And we have past personal, professional experience in the fitness industry.
Yeah. So we used to own a gym. I used to be a personal trainer, and a large amount of our work was found in that space. We used to own a CrossFit box, and as a strength and conditioning coach, I used to coach athletes from beginner level all the way to international level as well. So we're coming with a lot of experience in this topic. And I think if we were to look at what high intensity exercise is as a label, so intensity, it's all about output, and you can increase your intensity a few different ways. Just really quickly, heart rate, like if your heart rate goes up really high, that would be one way to add intensity. You could add intensity by terms of exercise difficulty. You can increase your intensity in a workout by repetitions, doing lots and lots and lots of repetitions. You can add lots of weights, or a combination of all or any of those. And some people thrive on high intensity exercise. What we've found is when you are burned out, you won't.
Yeah, and that's where we got a bit frustrated too with being in the fitness industry, that we had the best of intentions, but there were a bunch of people that got worse when they were trying to flog their bodies with exercise. So we really wanted to dig into what's actually happening below the surface. If you enter into this type of exercise when you're in a state of body burnout, what's happening from a body systems point of view, and why do you struggle to actually lose weight when you're in this state? And also too, we will get into it in a little bit later, but understanding the messages from your body. So you might start something like CrossFit or 75 and hard, or you're training for a marathon. You feel really great. You're getting great results, but maybe months later, you feel like your body's actually kind of falling apart, or your energy levels. And so we wanted to touch on that too, so that you can mindfully use exercise as a really healthy part of being healthy, and also to heal your body.
We saw a lot of this in the fitness industry. A mentor of mine said it once, that the fitness industry largely is a breeding ground for body dysmorphia and eating disorders. And once we saw that, once we heard that, RAS was dialed in, and it was endemic. There's lots and lots and lots of that going on, and we're not okay with that. We wanted to put a stop to that. So here we are.
Okay, so from a body systems point of view, what's actually happening when you're trying really hard to get healthy and lose weight, but things just aren't changing for you? So you've probably heard us rattle on about the adrenals and adrenal fatigue. So the adrenals are your stress, well, they secrete your stress hormones, and exercise actually puts more stress on your body. Now, nothing's bad until it is. Exercise is a great and healthy stressor if your body can handle the intensity in which you're putting your body through. And so when someone's in adrenal fatigue, where their stress hormones are really depleted, you're just not regulating your system very well, going to do a high intensity workout actually causes your body to feel like you are being chased by a tiger. Your body feels very in danger because you're struggling to actually regulate your stress hormones. And so when you're in adrenal fatigue, your metabolism switches off. It's actually safer to hold on to fat than it is to lose it in the way that we were evolved. So if there's famine coming, I'm talking about like cavemen, cavewomen days. If there's a famine coming, it's actually quite healthy to hold on to fat rather than to lose it. So if the system feels like it's in danger, it can switch off your ability to burn fat. I remember this is quite a few years ago, but we had a client who was literally doing 12 exercise sessions a week. 12 exercise sessions, training for a marathon. The only thing that she ate was for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think it was like 200 grams of meat and only green veggies. And she was putting on more weight. And she couldn't understand why, but, then we started breaking it down when she actually started supporting, healing her adrenals, cut back on exercise, ate more carbohydrates. Then she actually started shifting weight, which was really cool. So adrenals, really important. Your sex hormones can also impact your weight and metabolism. And they can also become depleted when you're doing too much with your body at a high intensity level in terms of exercise. So when someone's in adrenal fatigue, you actually, 9 times out of 10, someone's sex hormones also go out of balance. So cortisol and DHEA are interacting with progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. So often what I see on lab tests is that those sex hormones really deplete as well. And then that can impact weight. So a lot of women and men, if you have really depleted sex hormones, you often store like estrogen belly. Guys can get man boobs. You got like the muffin handles, and that's often connected to your sex hormones. Couple of other body systems. So dopamine is very interesting. So that's a beautiful neurotransmitter where you feel energy, joy, creativity. You can also start using exercise as a bit of a dopamine hit. Now it can be really healthy. We've had clients who have come off antidepressants when they've actually started an exercise routine. So it's super healthy, can be very healing. However, if you're showing up with this like, go home, go hard or go home mentality,
go home.
do with your exercise or just really anything in life, then exercise can become really addictive because it actually gives you these little dopamine hits if your brain or your neurotransmitters is depleted, which then can lead to overtraining. So it's actually kind of not directly related to why you can't lose weight, but it can get you into this addictive pattern where you struggle to stop doing certain things. Like that might be overtraining, it might be scrolling on social media, it might be drinking alcohol, sugar, all the things.
I can just see someone listening. I can imagine someone listening and saying, are you saying exercise is bad? Are you saying that, I shouldn't do this? And I think what you've just said there is, if you're burned out, we're talking to you. If you're a healthy, happy individual with the lifestyle that you want, go at it. My caution for you would be to take care of yourself, make sure you're recovering, eating healthy, all that sort of stuff. If you are doing all the things and you're feeling like you're cooked and exhausted and you're not shifting body fat, we're talking to you.
Yes, yes. We're not demonizing exercise or even any type of exercise. It's just what's right for you right now. Maybe different also to you 10 years ago, and maybe even different to you in a year's time when you're feeling amazing. A couple of other body systems. So mitochondria, really important. So they're little organelles that live in your muscle tissue, including your butt. And basically they're converting food into energy, which is amazing. Great when that's happening. Now, exercise also stimulates the mitochondria, which is really healthy. So mitochondria actually improves when you're moving your body. However, if you're in a state of body burnout or you're over exercising to what your body can handle, the mitochondria spits off all these little free radicals when it's producing energy. And your body should be able to come and mop up any of those free radicals with lovely nutrients, antioxidants. But if those antioxidants have burnt up, which is often the case with people with body burnout, then there's nothing to come and mop up these free radicals that are being produced when you're exercising. And so then therefore those free radicals actually damage the mitochondria themselves, and you're not able to convert food into energy very effectively. And that'll show up as 3 main symptoms. 1, energy issues. 2, achy body. And 3, well, you can't burn fat, because if your food that you're eating isn't converting into energy, it just gets stored as fat. And detox pathways are kind of connected to that too. So there's some really important nutrients, antioxidants that support detoxing. Now, if they've been burnt up because your liver's really struggling, you got too many toxins stuck in your fat tissues, then those nutrients will deplete, which means that you're not able to actually burn fat very effectively, because fat burning takes place last in the liver. And the liver is always going to focus on poisons first. It's like, we can hold on to some fat. That's not going to kill us, at least not initially. Maybe like decades down the track if it gets bad enough. But your system's always just doing priority. Well, toxins need to go first. We've created a cool body systems quiz. When it comes to healing the body systems, we always, like, our motto is test, not guess. So really, like, get clear on where these body systems are. So if you're struggling to lose weight, you're exhausted, you're feeling burnt out, it may be coming from any or all of these body systems. We don't know unless we actually get some poo, wee, spit samples. But in the meantime, in the show notes, I've popped in our body systems quiz, where I've created a quiz based on really specific symptoms that link up to different body systems. So that can be a really good indicator of, where might my symptoms, where might my imbalances be lying? Okay, so signs your body is burned out when it comes to exercise. So these are some big signs, especially if maybe you have been exercising and you've been doing pretty good for a while, but all of a sudden you've kind of hit a bit of a roadblock, or you're thinking of starting an exercise protocol, or you have started, but you're like, every time I turn up to the gym or go for that run, I'm getting these symptoms. Is this a sign that I should pull back or not? Do you want to go over some of those signs?
Yeah, so we talked about this: not shifting weight, not recovering, aches, pains, niggles, injuries, performance starts to decline. I think that's a really big one. In strength and conditioning, we talk about when an athlete just is getting worse on the field or on the court, and training, you can't, and they're not training the suckiness, the performance out. So that's something to look at. Immune system, like getting sick. There's so many times, more than I have fingers and toes to count, where somebody has been preparing for a competition or an event, or they've been training for something. This is for athletes. It could be for house mums and dads. It could be for weekend warriors. It doesn't matter. I've seen this across the board in preparation and peaking for a competition. Immune system just goes so low in burned out individuals, and they start to get sick. I've seen countless times where somebody's had to pull out because they've got the flu, or food poisoning or something like that.
Also, too, everyone's capacity is different, especially if you're in burnout. So sometimes it might be a walk around the block that you're like, oh, that just wipes me out. Or yeah, I actually like feel like I'm coming down with a sore throat. Other ones too. So exercise should perk you up. It should make you feel like happy and excited and light and energized. If you're noticing that you're feeling cranky, irritable, low mood, apathy after exercise, I remember that was me. Actually, I had like pretty much all of these signs showing up back when I was trying to exercise the way that I used to before I experienced body burnout. And that was a big one. I'm like, I am so angry. I'm Dragon Mom after exercise. Isn't this supposed to help me? Some people can feel really tired. I mean, look, if you're doing a pretty intense workout, you probably will feel tired afterwards. But if you need to have a nap afterwards, or it's kind of like floored you for the rest of the day, or you're feeling tired for days after, that is a big sign that your body is burnt out and your current exercise regime is just too much for what your body can handle at the moment.
I've heard a lot of people in the fitness industry, strength and conditioning world, talk about you're not over exercising, you're under recovering. And I think about that for a few reasons. The first thing that I'd like to point out is, well, yeah, that might be the case, but at what point can you draw the line in the sand and just say, hey, you know what, I shouldn't have to recover this much just to be healthy and happy. Maybe you are under recovering for the amount of exercise that you're doing. So just have a look, like maybe don't exercise so much and then you won't have to recover so much. Like, why do you feel the need to absolutely just pummel yourself with that much exercise?
One other real sneaky sign that not many people know about is histamine intolerance. So that's histamine is where your body's releasing histamines, your immune system. It's a big immune system kind of response. And so if you're feeling kind of like itchy eyes, itchy skin, like your muscles are burning, like you're like, oh, I'm having like a hot flush, quite hot beyond the usual sweatiness. If you're noticing that you're getting heartburn, food allergy type markers, hay fever gets worse post-exercise, then you've probably got a histamine issue, and exercise actually releases histamine. Again, if you're healthy, balanced, your body just clears any excess histamine. But if your body is in a state of body burnout, that histamine load gets too high and it can make you feel worse when or during or after exercise.
Yep. There's going to be also some deeper unconscious reasons why your body is resisting letting go of the weight, and also some deeper unconscious reasons why you feel the desire and intention to push yourself, punish yourself, flog yourself, smash it, that sort of language. Are we going to explore some of those things?
Yeah. Well, we always like seeing patterns. It's like, oh, you feel like you have to smash it with your exercise so you can shift the weight or get stronger or whatever it is. Is that pattern of like force, intensity, push, overdoing, showing up anywhere else in your life? And 9.9 times out of 10, it often is. Like, it's like, yeah, actually, if I'm being honest, that is a pattern of how I live my life. So when it comes to work or business, I'm go, I'm do, I'm push, I'm force, got to make the money, got to get the results, got to please people. It might show up in your household as well, the way that you clean your house. Everything has to be perfect. Can't relax until like everything's squared away. Do, go. It might be showing up in your thought patterns as well, where it's like, I can't go to bed and have a restful night until I know that my whole to-do list is done. Otherwise, I feel anxious. I'm a bad human being. There's something wrong with me. Da-da-da-da-da. So we always think about symptoms, and like stubborn weight loss or gain could be is a symptom. And so really, what's it trying to communicate to you? What's it trying to communicate to you? You might feel like you're doing the things that should shift it, but if it's staying there stubbornly, it wants you to know something, and it will remain until you start actually listening to yourself and really understanding the deeper reasons as to why you're showing up with body burnout symptoms in the first place.
I love the line of questioning, like trying to just get to the top, getting to the not to the root of it, just to the top of it, seeing what the highest positive intention of something is. And a lot of times I can get there quick by saying, "Oh, why don't you just stop doing that?" And they'll say something like, "Oh, no, I can't. I have to." It's like, that's really interesting language. What do you feel is behind that? And like we go, what do you get out of that? And what's the benefit of that? And what's the intention of that? And we climb to the surface. Feel free to pause this right now if this sounds like you, and just reflect on what is the reason you do what you do. Like what do you get out of that? And what's the benefit of that? And what's the purpose of that? And after a while, you start looping around and you come back to, like, you just keep saying the same thing. That's probably the top. What is that? What does that look like for you? What's the purpose? What's the reason you do these things? I think that's really important to get to know that highest positive intention, because that's really what you're after. The exercise is a strategy to help you get that. So if you can think, well, what's a more resourceful way of me getting what I actually really want? You can have better conversations with yourself.
And usually the highest positive intention, when you really chunk it up to the highest level, it always lands on something around love and joy and calm and peace and fulfillment. And so when you can understand that, then it's like, oh, well, is this actually helping me to get there? Like, I know there's a part of me that thinks that that's what's going to get me there. If I work out really hard and I lose the weight, then I'm going to feel free and joyful and calm. It's like, yeah, but then, your body's always going to speak to you. So it's like, yeah, this isn't the best path to get there, because actually it's taking you away from all of that. You're exhausted, you're in pain, you're chaotic, you're forcing things. And so we have a saying, every behavior has a belief underneath. So that thing that's really holding you back often comes to deeper unconscious core beliefs that you have about yourself as a human. And so you can even ask questions too, like, why do I want to lose weight? What's wrong? What's wrong with me as I am right now? Or what am I actually trying to hide from by keeping weight on me, even though I don't like it? And so it's always going to come back to a deeper unconscious core belief around, I'm unlovable, I'm defective, I'm broken, I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving. And sometimes too, there's like trauma beneath that as well. So if you have had experiences where it actually wasn't safe to be attractive because I got attention that was unsafe, that hurt me, that harmed me, then your unconscious state is like, all right, well, how can we protect from that ever happening again? Well, we're going to keep on the weight for good for a while until it's actually safe to be attractive, and you give yourself permission to be attractive. So if you're listening to this and, maybe you might even be feeling a bit triggered, where it's just like, yeah, but if I stop exercising, I'm just going to put on even more weight, or the results that I've got so far is just going to all unravel. So we wanted to kind of end with how you can actually shift your mindset around exercise when you're healing from body burnout. And although we've been focusing on weight, I mean, this could also be like, your signs might be like, oh, I'm not struggling with weight, but yeah, I'm really getting like colds and flus every time I try and up the ante with exercise, or I'm napping all the time. And it might be really scary to change the way that you're exercising. Just a a story about my experience with exercise. So after I had my first baby, 6 months later, I really hurt my back. Did a stupid thing, tried to do a deadlift on my own, heard my back crack. But even before then, I was still recovering and I had a lot of health issues. That was my first body burnout experience. But I was so attached to my identity as a fit girl. So back before children, I could do like, I don't know, 20 pull-ups and like 100 push-ups and run really fast and all the things.
You could do 20 pull-ups?
Yeah. Remember I was on the monkey bar that time with you and Tim? We were just like randomly at a park and you guys were like, oh, look how many pull-ups I can do. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I probably did like 4.
Well, and then I jumped on and
I've
I'm
never been
like,
good
and
at
I
that.
did a bunch and you're like, what? How can you do that? I'm like, oh, I thought everyone could do pull-ups. So I was attached to this identity. So back then
Nice.
too, I was attached to achievement. So it's like, oh, when I'm good at something, I get validation. Like
I'm just feeding
like,
into it like right
Chris
now.
was just like
I'm
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife's strong.
feeding you.
And so
Nom, nom, nom. Eat some of that external validation.
And so my deeper unconscious belief was that I was weak and incapable. So of course my performance with my body was kind of like trying to hide that away, hide that from myself and from everyone else, because I'm like, I can do 20 pull-ups. I can do 100 push-ups straight. Look at me. I must be strong. But really underneath my unconscious state was just like, no, you're not. And so it really actually fell apart when I had babies, because then I couldn't do those things. I literally could not do even like half a pull-up. Yet I was so attached to doing it still, because that's how, or part of how I was proving that I was strong and worthwhile, that I just kept flogging my body. I just kept turning up to classes, trying to do the things that everyone else was doing, trying to do the things that I used to be able to do, to the point where I was so adrenal fatigued and my body was in such chronic pain and my immune system was shot that the pain got big enough at some point to say, you need to do something different. And I finally listened to it. But honestly, it probably took me about 2 years. And when I actually really changed the way that I was moving my body and really dropped back to very low, gentle healing exercises, not only did I help my body to heal, but in terms of weight, which is what we've kind of been focusing on, I actually lost weight. And I looked more toned, even though I wasn't doing any weight work besides using my body, because my body was able to let go of a whole heap of inflammation and fluid that was actually keeping me looking very puffy. So when you listen to your body, only good things are going to come from that. And learning to trust yourself and trust the process will help you to not only come out of body burnout, but also to like literally have the body and the life of your dreams.
So best ways to exercise when you're in a state of body burnout. Well, this isn't in our notes, but we talk about in strength and conditioning, we talk about this concept called periodization, where there's always something to do. It just you're not going to do everything all at once. And so while one thing is kind of coming down, another thing goes up, and you just try and ride the waves so that you can peak. Anyway, this is no different. Now in this state of body burnout, it's time to heal and improve in that area of your life. It's not a time to break records and win races and smash it and hit it hard. It's not that time for you right now. So the period of your life, the season of your life right now is all about healing. So take that mindset. Another tip is to just figure out, well, what can you actually handle? What's your minimum effective dose? What is the absolute barest of minimums that you can handle and recover and be okay? So we've got some preferred types of exercises and routines that we get our clients to do. I think the most important thing is to listen to your body, and a lot of you who are burned out have lost rapport with yourself. You've lost connection to your body, and you're not sure what your body is saying when it feeds you those, or it tells you the things that it's telling you. So learn how to listen to your body, learn how to love your body, test to figure out what is the minimum effective dose, and adopt a mindset of periodization. Now is the season, now is the time for me to heal and improve.
And some really just key questions to ask yourself around your exercise regime is just check in with yourself every couple of weeks, maybe even daily to start off with. Have you maintained your health? Has it not gotten worse? If so, then it's like, great, awesome, you're on the right track. Another thing, have you increased in energy consistently for 2 weeks rather than ebbs and flows? So that can often show up as burn crash cycles, where maybe it was even like gardening was a bit too much today. So just looking at, has your energy level stayed stable, or are they still inconsistent? If they are, then you've got to drop back the intensity. And also soreness, so muscle soreness. I mean, it's okay to feel it a little bit, but if you're in a state of body burnout, you don't want to get to the point where you like got full on delayed onset muscle soreness, you're sore for days. You kind of want to like, yeah, I did a bit of a workout, but it's just really subtle. That is a really nice way of just listening to your body when you're healing and using exercise to do that. And one last thing to test, not guess. So getting clear on where your body systems are at is also just like a scientific look into your body to see, yeah, cool, you could handle, some strength training, or like, oh, crikeys, you're in like the later stages of adrenal fatigue. I would definitely only stick with like some leisurely walks, maybe some slow ocean swims, but not anymore at the moment until we start really rebuilding those body systems back up.
If you've got any questions, feel free to get in touch with us. This is my area of expertise in terms of strength and conditioning and helping you to integrate exercise into your burnout recovery. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us for this episode. We hope you've got something out of this and learned something. As I just mentioned, if you would like to get in touch with us, shoot us a message, a DM, and we'd love to have a conversation, see if you're somebody that we vibe with and we can actually help you get what you're looking for. Take good care. Have the best day ever. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.